So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in colour, it's Mr. Wayne Love Juice.
The other day I produced a Louis, had a chat with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithms really aren't that happy. If a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we could text ya whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the Track Extra. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's John Downs, and welcome to another episode of On the Track Extra, our regular Wednesday evening roundup of stuff involving hard science, weird shit, and surreality. And I quite often go, if you don't know what surreality is, cop a load of this. Somewhere over the hamster. And this show is no exception. Now, for those of you who don't know, for the last 30 years I've been the director of an organisation called the Centre for Fortean Zoology, which has been travelling around the world researching mystery animals all across the globe. And we are now, I believe so anyway, the largest publishers of cryptozoological related material in the English-speaking world. Quite possibly in the whole of the world, but I don't know, because my knowledge of things which aren't English, I can swear in Cantonese. I can buy beer in Spanish, or rather the sort of Spanish they speak in Puerto Rico. Dos cerveza, por favor, señorita. And that's about it. So I have no idea if there are other more popular cryptozoological publishers than us anywhere else in the world, but I like to think not. Now, anybody who's followed the history of the CFZ from the beginning will know that in many ways we're the house that Owlman built. Because back in 1994 I wrote a book called The Owlman and Others, which took an in-depth look, and as far as I know the only in-depth look that's ever been taken, at a phenomenon which had been happening for decades in the vicinity of a church called Mornan Old Church in southern Cornwall, a few miles from Falmouth. Over the years, many young women and one young man, but that's another story, had encountered what the first of the witnesses described as a giant, nasty bird man, something that looked a cross between a human being and an owl, which is why it's called the Owlman. And I wrote about this at length, and it eventually became a book which has outsold everything else I've ever written. And as a result, the royalties from the Owlman and Others have got the CFZ through some difficult times over the years, and no doubt will do it again in the future. But I'm not here to talk exactly about the Owlman. What I am here to talk about is something peculiar that happened a few weeks ago. It all started with my old mate Richard Muirhead, and regular viewers will know that Richard Muirhead and I have been friends since the summer of 1970, and he's the person I've known longest, apart from my brother and my cousin Penny, the person I've known longest in the world. And Richard and I have been friends since he was 6 and I was 11, and he's been sending me weird animal stories for the last 30 plus years. Now, Richard knows that I'm fascinated with giant owl stories, and particularly in stories about people being attacked by giant owls. And so, a few weeks ago, he sent me a message on Facebook Messenger saying, "Hey John, have you heard anything about the giant owl attacking a woman in Norwich?" I hadn't, but I was lucky enough that I have somebody on the ground in Norwich, and I got her to investigate. Meet my stepdaughter Olivia, beautiful, charming, intelligent, and the mother of my granddaughter. And she lives in Norwich. So I sent her a message on Facebook Messenger saying, "Hello, darling. Do you know anything about a woman being attacked by a giant owl?" And she sent me back these two news stories. Well, the story turned out to be about an escaped eagle owl called Alfie, which coincidentally is also the name of one of my grand-nephews, or is it great-nephews, I'm not sure, who was born early on Christmas Day. Hello, Alfie. I'm sure you're very pleased to know that you share a moniker with an escaped eagle owl accused of attacking women in Norfolk. Here are two stories, and the first one has the owner telling people to not disturb Alfie because he will bite them, and the second one says Alfie has been seen again and has pictorial evidence to the fact. But in neither of these stories have I found anything about Alfie attacking a woman in the city. This isn't to say that this didn't happen, it's just that I haven't got the story yet. But the interesting thing is that eagle owls have got a Fortean significance of their own. Not only are they quite commonly kept as pets and falconry birds, and are very, very good at escaping. So they have been found in several parts of the United Kingdom where escaped eagle owls of various species, because it's not just the Eurasian eagle owl, they're part of a whole range of eagle owls. But sometimes the eagle owls appear not to have been escapees, because, as the name Eurasian eagle owl implies, they are found in Eurasia, and they're found quite commonly in Scandinavia, and are very, very strong flyers. And so there are also eagle owls which are rare vagrants to our shores here, and which people are not sure what to do about them. Do we recognise them as a new addition to the British list and something to be heralded and celebrated? Or do we recognise them as escapees in the same way as we recognise the ring-necked parakeets, which are found all over the south of England now, as escapees? The debate carries on, and I, for one, have no idea which way it's going to end, but it'll be very interesting to find out. Also, by the way, the Owlman in southern Cornwall has been accused of being an escaped eagle owl by various people, including the late Trevor Beer. Well, the late Trevor Beer and I agreed on practically nothing, and I don't agree with him on that one either. But again, we have to just wait and see, although I think we're more likely to find out the truth about errant eagle owls across these islands than we are to find out the exact nature of the Owlman of Mornon. And that's about it for this episode. Big thanks to Richard Muirhead and to my stepdaughter Olivia for sorting out the story of the Norfolk eagle owl for me. And I will bring you updates as and when I have them. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I certainly enjoyed making it. and I very much look forward to seeing you again soon. So I'll be back here on Saturday, and I'll also be back here next Wednesday evening. What am I going to be talking about? I don't know. But Richard's coming up on Friday, so I'm going to be doing some filming with him, so there'll be all sorts more exciting things happening. So, until then, stay safe, God bless you all, and I'll be seeing you